الحمد لله رب العالمين، الحمد لله ذي الملك والملكوت ذي العزة والجبروت، الحمد لله ذي الفضل والكرم ذي القدرة والنعم، الحمد لله حي قيوم لا ينام، عزيز لا يضام، قهار لا يرام، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. يقول الباري سبحانه وتعالى بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. O you who believe, fear Allah as He should be feared, and die not except on the state of Islam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most merciful, grant us this great gift to die on the state of Islam. Allahumma ameen ya arhamar rahimin. Amma ba'd. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah At-Teen, وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ ثُمَّ رَدَدْنَاهُ أَسْفَلَ سَافِلِينَ. وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ, we have created man in the great of the make, in the great of the structure, in the great of the mold. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us in the best of the structure. What is this structure? Is our appearance, our body, the way we look. We are more beautiful than any other creature on the earth, like the animals. Is this the great of the grandeur, the great of the structure? Is this ahsani taqweem? But there is among us human beings who being born handicapped, crippled, people, they are in a state, subhanallah, that they not look like in that appearance that we think of. People, they show off their body. People, they're not. People that are very old, they cannot even walk. Is this ahsani taqweem? It's not. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam point to us. Allah, He look at your hearts. He doesn't look at your body and image. Allah لا ينظر إلى أجسامكم ولا إلى صوركم ولكن ينظر إلى قلوبكم. فرفع الإدراك العقلي والقلبي, that is the ahsani taqweem. The elevation of high rank of the intellect and the purity of the heart, which is the source of the good action, which action is the one who build, not the state of the body of the parents do anything. What guides is your decision, your choice, your will, and this comes from inside. That is ahsani taqweem. رَدَدْنَاهُ أَسْفَلَ سَافِلِينَ. Then we abase him to the low of the lowest. Is not like some people, they say, comment that he become like so old and then he become asfar safili. No, the one who turned against his own inner nature of the iman, the one who turned because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us this fitra imaniyya. We have three substances in ourselves. The inner nature of the iman, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make you capable with it to go beyond the level of the angels. Fitratun imaniyatun malaikiyya. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he went beyond that level, because when he came in his ascension of Al-Mi'raj, Jibreel alayhi salam قال, I am here, I cannot go farther. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam went up and up. Why? Because of the ubudiyyah of the Prophet ﷺ. Asfalu safirin, when we deny and we reject the best, what is in us, which is this inner nature of the iman, that someone will turn to worship his own whims, to degrade himself, to be under the level of the beast. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala قال, أولئك كالأنعام بل هم أضل. Those are the cattle, but indeed astray. But the cattle, they do worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they do celebrate praises to Allah. but the one who turned himself degrading to that point, he's not, his heart is dead. The second one, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this best of the structure, He provides for everyone as a heart. And this heart is ready and have the ability to contain the best pure love ever existed in the whole cosmos, the love of Allah. If you have a diamond, you require a vessel or container nice to put it. The love of Allah requires a container that is pure, and it is your heart, ready for that. And the third thing, the soul that been breathed by Allah into us. وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَاكُمْ ثُمَّ صَوَّرْنَاكُمْ. We created you and we fashioned you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked the angel to prostrate to Adam and to you because you were in the backbone of Adam. خَلَقْنَاكُمْ صَوَّرْنَاكُمْ ثُمَّ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ. And this sujood of takreem, the prostration of honor, came not because of the appearance, but because of the soul. فَإِذَا سَوَيْتُهُ وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي فَقَعُوا لَهُ سَاجِدِينَ. When I breathe in him of my soul, the soul that Allah created and honored, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, the house of Allah, the neck of Allah, the soul of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is honored, created by Allah to breathe into us, for to give you life. And if your relation between you and your parents is a relation of blood, or between you and your relative, ask yourself, what is your relation between you and Allah? Relation between us and Allah is the soul, and the condition, the link that is linking us is the link of the takreem and the honor. Because قَالَ إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. The relation that we have to close to be Allah, the most preferred among you, the one who are more pious. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. And this is, make this substance that we have inside us as a being want to go back to their back home, the back home of the divine in the neighborhood of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A heart that can contain the most beautiful thing, the love of Allah. And the love of Allah doesn't conflict with the love of your parents, or the love of your spouse, or your love of your children, of your family, or your relative, and the love of the belonging you have. It doesn't. The love of Allah comes to elevate you, to cherish you, to guide that love, to protect that love of your family, of your spouse, of your children, of your mate, of everything. And to protect it, guide it, and to hold it into boundaries, to not go outside excessiveness that you're going to turn against you. That's the love of Allah. Allah loves you, for you, and want you to love your parents, love for you to love your family, your children, even your business. But when the business comes to conflict with Allah, the love of Allah, that's the problem. So it's like the umbrella of this heart to contain the best of the love, and comes under it all the other loves to be guided, protected, and cherished. And then the soul wants to go back to Allah, because the soul didn't start its journey when we came to this world. Start from long time ago when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took the oath on us. And we don't remember it. Allah make you remember it. وَإِذْ أَخَذْنَا مِنْ بَنِي آدَمَ مِنْ ظُهُورِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّتَهُمْ وَأَشْهَدَهُمْ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ أَلَسْتُ بِرَبِّكُمْ قَالُوا بَلَىٰ. Behold, Allah took from the back of the sons of Adam their offspring, and He made them witness on themselves. Am I not your Lord? They said, yes, and you were present in this oath. The soul wants to come back, but we have another part in us, a part weak, limited in strength and power, limited because subjected to the instinct of the desire, to the attack of the shaitan, to the instinct of loving this dunya and accumulation of this dunya. Part of us want to long and go and fly away, and part of us is enchaining us, suffocating us. We cannot do the next step till we do a lot of sins, and then we reflect and we come back and we're trying hard. That weakness, وَخُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا, and the question we ask, why? We want to go back free to Allah, but this thing is holding us back. And why is to check not to be disgraceful, or to be ungrateful, but try to understand the wisdom so we direct our effort, our intellect, our heart to the right direction. Why? Because Allah wants you to know that there's no way out except through Allah. لا خلاص إلا بالله. لا ملجأ من الله إلا إليه. When you want to fly and everything holding you back, that when you go back to Allah in humility, say, Ya Allah, that when you go back, that is the ubudiyah. That is فَفِرُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ. Run back, flee to Allah, because you cannot make it. It's impossible for you to make it. That's the servitude, that's the humility. يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسُ أَنْتُمُ الْفُقَرَاءُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَاللَّهُ هُوَ الْغَنِيُّ الْحَمِيدُ. You are the one who's standing in need to Allah, and Allah free of wants, and Allah the worthy of all the praises. That combination, that battle of what we have inside us, it has only one out, is the submission, the humility to Allah. And when you understand this, when you understand this feeling that you need to be forgiven, not because you did a sin, because you want to fly back to Allah in peace. You want to have that soul mutma'inna mardiyah, peaceful and pleased by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's when you feel. And this is where comes the need of the dua. We are preparing for Ramadan to understand the wisdom of the dua. The dua here, because of this battle, the only one who can make you out of it is Allah. As Allah gave us the example of Ka'b ibn Malik and his brother for 50 nights begging Allah in Surah At-Tawbah. حتى ضاقت عليهم الأرض بما رحبت وضاقت عليهم أنفسهم وظنوا أن لا ملجأ من الله إلا إليه. They felt the whole earth, how vast it is, becomes so narrow, they cannot even breathe. Their soul, it becomes like the smallest cell. And they were certain there's no way out except to flee back to Allah. فَتَابَ عَلَيْهِمْ. That is. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us, you feel this need, how you make it. That's how you express the servitude to Allah. That is the life of the believer. That is the nourishment of the soul. So that's the dua comes in this perspective. And listen what Allah telling you. And before that, the Prophet ﷺ, what he said about the dua. قال الدعاء مخ العبادة. Supplication is the brain of worship. How it can be? We praying? No. Fasting, not enough. Hajj, not enough. Bring us all together because you have this conflict. How the way out is to express it in humility to Allah in dua. That's why dua مخ العبادة. وقال ربكم ادعوني أستجب لكم. Behold, your Lord said, call me, I'll answer you. And if you do not call, it's like you don't have this humility. You don't feel that you are in need to Allah. You don't feel that you are poor to Allah. You are neglecting that part of the soul who want to fly back, and that heart to contain the love of Allah, and that fitra imaniyah that want to exceed the angel in their level. You're neglecting all that. And Allah said subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you don't make the dua and you don't feel the need, it means that your heart is dead. قال وقال ربكم ادعوني أستجب لكم إن الذين يستكبرون عن عبادتي. You see, this is the meaning. Those who show arrogance to my worship. Ya Allah, you're talking about the dua. We make dua for you. What happened to now? Arrogant. No, in this meaning that we are treating and sharing together, it is the humility which comes to expression of dua. And if you don't do it, then you are from those who their heart is dead, and you show an arrogance, and those show arrogance, they will be punished by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the way of the Prophet. It is the need to be forgiven, the need to be saved. We live a big battle inside us. Only Allah has the way out. Only Allah can save you. How can you show it? Show humility. Show humbleness. Come to Allah not because you didn't do for sins. You ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, why should I ask forgiveness? Forgiveness is not about sins. About you to be saved. about you to come back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala safe. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the hadith al-Tabari standing in Arafah يقول اللهم إنك تسمع كلامي وترى مكاني وتعلم سري وعلانيتي. Oh Allah, you can listen, you listening to what I'm saying. You seeing where I am, and you know my secret, and you know everything about me. أسألك سؤال المساكين أتضرع إليك تضرع المذنب الضرير. The Prophet, I'm asking you the call of those who are poor to you. I'm begging you, Ya Allah, the begging of someone who commits a big sin. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then in the end he said sallallahu alaihi wasallam, أدعوك أسألك سؤال من رغم لك أنفه وفاضت لك عيناه. I'm asking you, Ya Allah, a dua for someone his nose, his face is in the ground submitting to you. Someone whose eyes is overflowed with tears. This is my sins before you. فاغفر لي ما قدمت وما أخرت. This is my sins, the Prophet said, before you. Forgive me, Ya Allah. Whatever I have done and whatever I'm going to do. What are the sins of the Prophet? You know what the sins of the Prophet? That the dhikr that he did, just the moment passed, he believed it wasn't worthy enough of the greatness of Allah. He feel that he did shortcoming. He want to make it the next moment. That's the sin of the Prophet. That's why he makes 70 times istighfar in the same 200 times in the same gathering. When Abu Bakr came to him, teach me Ya Rasulullah dua. Teach me Ya Rasulullah dua. To say, Ya Abu Bakr, you are my friend. You are a Siddiq. You are the one who gave everything for me. You're fine. Say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, enter me paradise. No. قال قل يا أبا بكر في دبر كل صلاة اللهم إني ظلمت نفسي ظلما كثيرا. Said at the end of every prayer, oh Allah, I transgressed myself, a great transgression. The Prophet teaching a Siddiq, they are transgressor. What we say about ourselves. فاغفر لي مغفرة من عندك. Forgive me forgiveness from you. Because I don't deserve to be forgiven. Because everything from you. فاغفر لي مغفرة من عندك إنك أنت الغفور الرحيم. This is the dua that the Prophet taught to Abu Bakr. And dua al-istighfar madalla. And dua of al-anbiya, look at them in the Quran. All of this is humility. That's why Al-Hasan al-Basri رحمه الله تعالى قال أتيت إلى ربي من باب الصلاة. I want to come to Allah from the gate of the prayer. قال فوجدته مزدحما. I found it crowded. People are pushing. A lot of musallin, mashallah. I went to the bab of Siyam as a figure of speech. He wanted to teach us. I wanted crowded. I found it crowded. And then he turned from one ibadah to ibadah and he said, قال وأتيت على باب الإنكسار لله فوجدته فارغا. I came to the gate to enter to Allah through the humility. I found it empty. Why? Because the humility is the heart of the ibadah. Is mukhul ibadah, the dua, because the dua is to express your need to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah showed us in the Quran, everyone who showed arrogant, in the same ayat, He told you that He destroyed him. Iblis قال أنا خير منه, I'm better than him. قال اخرج منها فإنك رجيم. Out, you are cursed. فرعون قال أليس لي ملك مصر وهذه الأنهار تجري من تحتي. Do I not have the kingdom of Egypt and all this river that flowing beneath me. فأغرقناه وجنوده في اليم. We drowned them. In the same ayat. قالوا نحن أولو قوة وأولو بأس شديد. The soldier of Balqis, they said, we have great power and we have. قال لنخرجنهم منها أذلة وهم صاغرون. سليمان. And they came Muslimin. And قارون قال أنما أوتيته على علم عندي. Arrogant. I get all this money with my skills, with my knowledge. فخسفنا به وبداره الأرض. We swallow him with his castle, with his treasure. The earth swallowed him. In the same ayat. The only that work is this humility, which is the heart of the worship, to help you overcome the battle that we have inside us. It doesn't stop. If you want to go safe to Allah, the only key in the hand of Allah. That's why you are between tawalli wa takhalli. إذا تولاك الله فقد نجيت. If Allah is with you, you'll be saved. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala against you, you'll be lost. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in غزوة بدر, in the battle of Badr, قال وَلَقَدْ نَصَرَكُمُ اللَّهُ فِي بَدْرٍ وَأَنْتُمْ أَذِلَّةٌ. Allah gave you victory in Badr and you were adilla, not weak. Adilla, as the scholar of tafsir, they have the tafsir beautiful for it. You were in a state of humility to Allah. That was the cause of Allah to help you. But when you came to Hunayn, the thought that your number is going to help you. لقد نصركم الله في مواطن كثيرة ويوم حنين إذ أعجبتكم كثرتكم. In the day of Hunayn, you thought that your number is going to help you. فلم تغني عنكم شيئا. It didn't help you. Badr humility, Hunayn kind of feeling self-esteem. We can make it. It doesn't work. You lose your battle inside you. You lose the blessings. That's why the Prophet ﷺ teaching us, if you lower yourself to Allah, Allah elevates you. The Prophet, the best of the creation, he asking us to make dua for him. Salu lil wasila. Ask for me this grade of paradise, his name al-wasila. No one can get it except one. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honored the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And he ascended him to Sidrat al-Muntaha. Sidrat al-Muntaha is the boundaries of this cosmos. Beyond Sidrat al-Muntaha is Jannatul Ma'wa, is the hereafter. And everything that around him, no one can express it. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Utiya Jama'a al-Kalam, he had the best of the speech. The best eloquent of the speech. He could not describe what we saw. But in all this beauty around him, he kept the humility sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. قال ما زاغ البصر وما طغى. اللهم صل وسلم على رسول الله. He didn't cross the boundary. Look, he was in a state of humility, looking down. He is in the presence of Allah. 4 pillars help us to find humility, to prepare ourselves for great project, the project of Ramadan. Project of the blessing, of the forgiveness, of the rahmah, is to find the humility to Allah. The first one, Allahun ghaniyun an ta'atina. Put it in your mind and your heart. Allah is free of want. Allah doesn't need our worship. وَمَن يَشْكُرْ فَإِنَّمَا يَشْكُرُ لِنَفْسِهِ. If you are making shukr, grateful, you do it for yourself. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala قال لو اجتمع إنسكم وإن جنكم. If all your ins and jinn كانوا على أتقى رجل واحد منكم. They were, every one of us with the jinn, they have the best pious heart from the best person among us. It will not increase anything from my kingdom. It doesn't. The ta'a is for you. That's how you feel that you show humility to Allah. The second one, the reward of the action is the bounty of Allah. The reward of your action, you don't pray, say, Allah, give me reward, this is my right. You pray and you pray and you pray and you pray, and Allah, if He will give you reward or not. Because the Prophet ﷺ قال والله لا أدري ما يفعل بي ولا بكم. I don't know what is going to happen to me. I don't know. Therefore, what you do is not you come to Allah, I did this, oh Allah, where's my reward? You look at this, I prayed all my life, Ya Allah, where's the reward? No, the reward is fadlun min Allah. Fadlun min Allah. The third one, anything you have is from Allah. وَمَا بِكُم مِّن نِعْمَةٍ فِي مِنَ Allah. Don't think that you gain it by your skills or money, you've been working double shift. It is from Allah. كُلُّكُمْ ضَالٌ إِلَّا مَنْ هَدَيْتُهُ. كلكم جائع إلا من أطعمته. كلكم عار إلا من كسوته. All of you are astray except the one I guide. All of you are starving except the one I feed. All of you, you don't have anything. You're unclothed with no clothes. Allah is the one who clothed you. The fourth thing. So the first one, all the worship you do is not going to increase for Allah anything. You do it for yourself. The second, you don't have any right to ask reward. The reward is from Allah. You see, make you feel more humble. The third one, everything you have, you didn't gain it. It become to you descending to Allah. The fourth one, that you might lose your iman at any time. You are under trial, you don't know. قال إن قلوب العباد بين إصبعين من أصابع الرحمن يقلبهما كيف شاء. يقلبهم كيف شاء. All the hearts are between two fingers of the most merciful. He turned them aside the way he will. Today you are a believer. If you do something, you becomes like someone who doesn't even want to pray. Some people they start to hate even the path. Change. How can not have humbleness and humility to Allah if we know this fourth thing? That's why the Prophet ﷺ, one of his dua that he used to do all the time, Ya muqallib al-qulub, or the one who turning aside to side the heart, ثبت قلبي على دينك, make my heart to be firm on your deen. اللهم يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه الغفور الرحيم. بسم الله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على النبي المصطفى أما بعد. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, إن عبادي ليس لك عليهم سلطان. We understand this conflict, this battle inside the nafs. The way out is the humility to Allah. Express it in dua and then express it in all your worship. That's what will bring you the khushu'. That's what will bring you the focus. That's what will bring you the firmness on the path. That to do that should be like people with no sins. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when Iblis came threatening, he said, Ya Allah, I'm going to get to their path, I'm going to turn them away, لَأَقْعُدَنَّ لَهُمْ صِرَاطَكَ الْمُسْتَقِيمَ, I'm going to do this, وَلَا تَجِدُ أَكْثَرَهُمْ شَاكِرِينَ. Everyone is going to be ungrateful. So what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قال, إِنَّ عِبَادِي لَيْسَ لَكَ عَلَيْهِمْ سُلْطَانٌ. My servant, you don't have any power on them. Who are the servants? Are these people who do not make sins? Are these people, they are always great? No. Those who the shaitan doesn't have power on them is all of you. You require only one condition. The condition that you violate the law of Allah, you feel regret. You feel remorse. And that part of soul in you, you want to come back. You want to run back to Allah. الذين إذا فعلوا فاحشة أو ظلموا أنفسهم ذكروا الله فاستغفروا لذنوبهم ومن يغفر الذنوب إلا الله. Those who transgress themselves, they do fahisha, or do things, they remember Allah, they go back. And then when they make the tawbah, Allah reward them and forgive them, get them back, so they cannot be under the power of the shaitan. These people, the shaitan cannot get hold of them, because every time they sin, they regret, they have remorse, they run back to Allah. Those are the ibadis, all of you. إِنَّ عِبَادِي لَيْسَ لَكَ عَلَيْهِمْ سُلْطَانٌ. We just need to keep that regret when you transgress, that remorse when you violate, and that running back to Allah, longing that He will forgive you and longing to be in the company of the greatest Muhammad wa sahbah. That feeling, it is the ubudiyyah. That what it turned into planning of the dua. That was going to turn in a project that you do, inshallah, in Ramadan, for Allah to help you to be showered with His blessing and to be on the path. Musa alayhi salam, he received the revelation from Allah. He said, Ya Musa, there's a man, he died out of the town. He's one of my awliya. Ya Musa, go and honor him. Go wash him and offer him a funeral and burial, and bring as many people to observe a prayer on him. And whoever observes prayer on him, he going to be rewarded. Musa alayhi salam went with his people. He doesn't know he's this person. They found out he's a young man. He died. They said, Ya Musa, this is the young man we're talking about. He's the one who's sinning. He's the one who's making all trouble in the town. We decide to expel him out because he has a very bad influence on our people. He said, is this pen? He said, yes. How are you telling us this is from awliyaullah? He said, Ya Allah, your people, your servants saying this. He said, yeah, they're saying the truth. But he said, when he was dying, he said, Ilahi gharibun bi biladik. Ilahi, I am a stranger alone in your kingdom. إن علمت أن عذابي يزيد في ملكك أو عفوك لي ينقص من ملكك ما سألت مغفرتك. Ya Allah, if I know that my punishment will reduce from your kingdom, or my punishment will increase of your kingdom, and my forgiveness will decrease from your forgiveness, I will not have asked you. But I know that my punishment will not increase your kingdom, and your forgiveness will not increase in anything or decrease of your any kingdom. وَأَلَّا مَلْجَأَ مِنْكَ إِلَّا إِلَيْكَ. Ya Allah, I don't have a way out except to turn to you. Ya Allah, forgive me. Allahumma ghfir li. He said, for his humility, for his remorse and regret and running, fleeing back to his Lord, I forgave him, Ya Musa. And I want you to offer him what I told you. And this is the fruit of the humility. This is the fruit that we need for our ubudiyyah, to beautify ourselves and have the true part of us flying back safe to Allah. اللهم بلغنا رمضان. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا أجمعين. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وآرنا الباطل باطلا وجنبنا اجتنابه. اللهم لا إله إلا أنت ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. اذكروا الله يذكركم واشكروه على نعمه يزدكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. وأقم الصلاة يرحمكم الله.